Limited of Warrington has won the contract to build the new bridge to replace the Wilderspool crossing. Tenders were invited by public advertisement, and Mr. Fairclough's was accepted in the sum of £136,894, 4 shillings and 5 pence. The contract time being given is 2 years. The Town Council had under consideration the dangerous level crossings and low-level line of railway through Warrington, and in particular the Wilderspool level crossing, for many years. In 1871, the town clerk wrote to the London and North Western Railway Company requesting that they do away with the several important level crossings on their lines of railway within the borough and immediate neighbourhood, by bridges or otherwise, and they take immediate steps to do away with the dangerous level crossing on Wilderspool Causeway. Construction of the bridge commenced some 80 years later, on August the 1st, 1955, with work proceeding rapidly on the approach roads. The siting of the new bridge requires that the eastern part should be built close alongside the old road, which in consequence seems to run in the narrow gap between the bridge and the signal box that for many years had dominated and controlled the crossing. The importance of the level crossing was now to be eclipsed, for as soon as the first carriageway of the new bridge is finished, traffic will be allowed to use it in both directions. At last, representatives of the Town Council and the bridge builders could admire the results of their efforts, which had resulted in the final closure of the Wilderspool level crossing only 12 months after the new bridge had been started. British Railway workers will soon begin the job of dismantling the crossing gates, no longer needed as work on the bridge forges ahead. The queues of frustrated drivers will soon be a thing of the past. A look of sadness on the faces of some of the old folk, a feeling of mixed emotions. For them, the end of an era. By August 1956, only half of the bridge had been built, and it was important that work should continue rapidly to complete the second carriageway. Because all traffic was using one half of the bridge, and the Bridgefoot roundabout was still being completed, police control of traffic was necessary at the Knutsford Road junction. And just as diversion signs met drivers, wooden blockades and fencing kept pedestrians safely out of the way of building works as well as traffic. By spring 1957, the new Bridgefoot roundabout was in use, and the second half of the bridge was nearing completion. At the southern end of the bridge, the roundabout, around which the 30-foot roadway was being completed, was designed to assist the free flow of traffic from Chester Road and the Causeway. On the 16th of May 1957, the new Wilderspool Bridge is opened by Alderman Edward Marshall, MBE, Chairman of Warrington Corporation's Highways, Sewerage and Planning Committee, in the presence of the Mayor, Councillor Harry Greenwood. crowds have flocked to the bridge for the historic opening. Warrington's town councillors have every reason to look pleased after waiting so long to solve one of the town's major traffic problems. The unveiling of a commemorative tablet, which is set in the western parapet of the bridge, brings to realization a town's dream of more than half a century. Apart from the 300 invited guests who later attend a reception at Parr Hall, nearly 1,000 townsfolk have ignored the blustering wind and threatening skies to witness the event. Councillor Harry Greenwood described the event as a milestone in the history of Warrington. Among the guests is the Member of Parliament for the borough, Dr. Edith Summerskill, who described Alderman Marshall, with apologies to the Mayor, as the hero of the day. The bridge, she declared, represents to Alderman Marshall fulfilment. It symbolises the strength, purpose and usefulness of Alderman Marshall's service to the town, and that he could wish for no better memorial. Alderman Marshall spoke of the tremendous loss to industry and commerce caused by the level crossing hold-ups, and as he spoke, trains that a year ago would have caused a traffic block at Warrington Bridge roared underneath without evoking a single word of irritation. The cameraman takes up his position. He's not going to let this moment in history pass without recording the event for posterity. Alderman Marshall is handed the scissors and, snipping the white ribbon, declares the bridge open. Even the sun has now come out to add to the brilliance of the day. The Mayor and Mayoress, accompanied by Alderman and Mrs. Marshall, climb into the mayoral car to ride back over the bridge to Warrington, followed by official guests on board a corporation bus driven by Harry Butterworth of Harding Avenue, Warrington. An enthusiastic throng line the bridge on both sides. The overall width of the new bridge is 80 feet, including its central verge and 2 footpaths. The clear span of the bridge is 29 foot 5 1/4 inches and consists of reinforced deck slab supported by 20-inch by 6.5-inch rolled steel joists encased in concrete. The diameter of each of the roundabouts is 100 feet and the width of the carriageway around them is 30 feet. The overall length of the scheme from Knutsford Road to St James's Church is approximately 400 yards. A final look at the Wilderspool Causeway Bridge from the air shows how its graceful lines dominate the banks of the River Mersey and how clearly can be seen the roundabouts at each end of the quarter-mile-long bridge. A major civic undertaking of a generation, one that has contributed so much to the relief of traffic congestion. An inspiring welcome that will live in the memory of thousands of Warringtonians who turned out in the face of a heavy hour-long shower to greet Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth the Queen Mother when she honoured the town on Tuesday the 6th of May 1958. Here, more than 6,000 wildly cheering schoolchildren have transformed the town hall lawns into a heaving sea of waving Union Jacks. The royal car, bearing the Queen Mother's personal standard, slowly passes along the front of Warrington's Town Hall as the 600 specially invited guests in the 2 flanking stands rise to salute Her Majesty. The ever-swelling volume of cheers reaches a crescendo as she steps onto the red-carpeted dais and is greeted by Mayor and Mayoress, Councillor and Mrs. Brandwood, and a fanfare from the band of the South Lancashire Regiment. Before the serious business of presentations takes place, Her Majesty has to answer the insistent cheering schoolchildren with a wave. First to be presented is Member of Parliament for the borough, Dr. Edith Summerskill, then Alderman J. Cannon Bardsley, who was also celebrating his 72nd birthday. The Mayor whispered to the Queen Mother it was his birthday, and as the man came forward, she wished him many happy returns. She also had a special word for Lieutenant Colonel Burnett, officer commanding the 1st Battalion, the South Lancashire Regiment, who leave for Hong Kong at the end of the month. The presentations over, the Queen Mother, accompanied by the Mayor and Town Clerk, walked over to a small table to sign the visitors' book. Her Majesty, who had also been to Warrington in 1938 and 1945, was shown the visitors' book from 20 years ago, at which the Mayor remarked her signature was an exact replica. The occasion is also a memorable one for 19-year-old Dorothy Mellor, head girl of Warrington High School for Girls, as she presents a bouquet of red roses to Her Majesty on behalf of the thousands of schoolchildren who'd given the Queen Mother such a heart-warming welcome. It was the Queen Mother's request that the original presentation plan was modified and Dorothy be invited onto the dais so that, the Queen Mother said, all children can see it presented. "I was absolutely overwhelmed when I presented the bouquet," said Dorothy afterwards. With a final acknowledgement of a wonderful exhibition of love and loyalty, the Queen Mother entered her car, followed by her lady-in-waiting, the Countess Spencer. The children moved eagerly forward to catch a last glimpse of the woman who'd once more warmed the hearts of Warrington. Much has been done to relieve the town's congestion problems over the years, with the widening of streets and the replacing and building of bridges. By January 1960, building work to the borough's newest bridge is well advanced, at an estimated cost of £5.25 million. The Thelwell Viaduct, which will carry the North-South Motorway 6 over the Ship Canal and River Mersey, 3 miles from Warrington, is said to be on target for its opening in 1963. Also soon, the new Runcorn Widnes Bridge will be completed, which when opened will bring even greater relief to Warrington's roads and Manchester Ship Canal bridges. The aerial ferry, the Runcorn Widnes Transporter Bridge, which was the first and longest of the 3 transporter bridges to be constructed in this country, will be dismantled. Agricultural land continues to be eaten away by the greedy mouth of the motorway. It's called progress, and whether we like it or not, it's here to stay.